Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make handprint flowers. I'm going to show you a quick close-up here of kind of what we're going for. These are a great little craft. I know Mother's Day is right around the corner, so that would be a great little bouquet to make for your mother. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Supplies that you're going to need for this are going to be construction paper. I like to at least have a green of some sort so we can make the stem. But as far as the color for the flowers, you can have any. Today I'm going to make pink, but let's say you didn't have construction paper, you could always use computer paper and then color the white paper any color you wanted to. Add some pops and some designs of color, so you could definitely do it that way. You also need scissors to cut things out, tape, some pipe cleaners. If you don't have pipe cleaners, that's okay. I'm going to show you a way around that later in the video. And then a pen or a pencil so we can trace and curl our edges. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to put this to the side here. I'm going to do pink flowers today, since I did yellow and white the other day. Okay, there's a lot of paper under here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so first we're going to start by tracing our hand. I can usually get about 4 of my hands on one paper, but really it's up to you. You don't have to do that many. Trace this here. And it doesn't have to be exact. I'm not going to follow along line for line. I'm going to actually go within my trace. That way you don't see the lines on the flowers when we finish it. So we just want to trace it like that. Like I said, it's just a rough trace. And then we're going to cut out around that. And I'm staying inside my lines. That way when I go to make my bouquet, you don't see any pen or pencil marks. Okay, so now that you have your hand cut out, we're going to start to curl the bottom to start forming that flower shape. So it takes a little bit because the construction paper is a little stiff, so you kind of have to work with it a little bit. And I'm just kind of rolling that bottom edge into a point. And I want to leave a space at the bottom to put our stem through. Hopefully you can see that. So once you're happy with your shape, you're going to attach that with some tape. I'm using clear tape today, but any tape really would do. Make sure that's firmly on there. And see, it's starting to become that shape that we want. So then I'm going to take a pen or a pencil, I've got pens on hand, and I'm going to start to roll and curl each one of these fingers, which are going to be like the petals of the flower. And how you do that is let me get a better part of the pen here, you start to curl it over just like that, and then you work your way down. So you roll it over itself like that. Hopefully you can see that. And you're going to do that on every single one of those. And you're going to start to get them to curl like that. That way it kind of looks more like a natural flower petal. And sometimes the curl doesn't want to hold, so I sometimes go back and I just tightly roll them again with my fingers right on top of each other. Because I want that really curled look, kind of like what petals do. And if you tear it, that's okay, no biggie. But that's kind of what you're going for. See how curled they are? and it's kind of opening up like a natural flower. Okay, so we're gonna set that to the side for now, and we're gonna make our stems. So depending on the length you want for your stem will depend on how much construction paper you use. I want this one to be pretty tall, so I'm gonna take my piece of paper and just cut it in half. So I'm only using half today, well, for this one. And then I'm gonna start at a corner and roll the paper. And I want it to stay as tight as possible because I want that stem not too fat. So I'm just gonna start a little section here. See if I can come a little closer so you can see it. So we're just rolling as tight as possible. And once you get it started, sometimes you can just push it, but that tends to make it go a little larger. And you're just going straight across the paper. Don't go at an angle because you'll get a weird little shape, but we're just rolling it as tight as we possibly can. And it helps me to hold it like this. So I'm using my thumbs on the back to kind of force the paper to stay tight while my forefinger, my pointer fingers are doing the rolling. And I'm just continuing to work that construction paper. Like I said, it's a little stiff at first, so it might take you a few times to really get it tight. But that's kind of what you're going for. So before we actually attach this, you can add a leaf to this, which I think is kind of fun. So we've got our roll nice and tight, keeping pressure on it, and I'm going to cut this into the shape of a leaf before I actually tape it down. So let me just do this, and just be careful you don't actually cut the roll. And then I'm going to unroll it a little bit to cut the excess off so you can't see it. And then ta-da! Look at that. Okay, so then if you've added a leaf, great. If not, you want to just use that tape to tape it down. And we want to, since I added a leaf, I want to make sure that this stays nice and tight and rolled. So I'm going to add one right below the leaf and one right above the leaf. And then you can kind of crease it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to add one more piece of tape because this top is kind of sticking out here. I don't want that. Okay, so now that we have our stem and our leaf created, I'm gonna actually twist this back around because we're gonna stick it down through the top of our flower, and I don't want to tear my leaf off. So we're gonna kind of force this down through, just down through the top. And it might take a little bit to wiggle it down through, and that's all right. And I want to pull it out just until my leaf starts to stick out the bottom. Right about there. And sometimes you might tear the back of it, that's okay, just tape it down. And actually I'm going to take it up just a little bit because I only want to just be able to see that stem in the top. About like that. Nothing too crazy. So then we're going to tape the flower to the stem. Just like that. And I kind of want my leaf to wrap around a little bit more, so I'm going to tape just a little bit on the back of that so it sticks where I want it to. Perfect. So we should be about right there. I love these so much. They're so much fun. Okay, so next part is going to be adding the pipe cleaner for like the center of the flower. And I like purple with this. So You don't need a whole lot of pipe cleaner. You can cut it in half. You can even cut it in thirds if you don't have very many. I'm gonna go, since this is a taller one, I'm gonna cut it in half. And I'm gonna fold my pipe cleaner the half in half, kind of like that. And then you're gonna start twisting from the top down. Like that. And I could probably have went a little smaller with this, but that's all right. There we go. Okay, so see how these are kind of sticking out? There's a little pressure on them since we've twisted the top of it. You can just stick those down in the stem and that pressure will hold them in place. So I'm gonna stick it down in there. There we go. And that is what you're looking for. Look how fun that is. So I had mentioned earlier, if you don't have pipe cleaners, a way to get around that is, I'm gonna take this guy back out. I would let this stick out just a little further, and you can cut vertical slits in the top and then kind of press it out. Let me show you one that I've done. So this was a white and yellow one that I did. And you can kind of see down in there, I've cut that middle part into little strips and then have just floured it out. And it still works just the same. I'm gonna stick this guy back in here. And you can get super creative with it. Like I said, I think it'd be really fun to do white flowers and color them. You could even put little messages on there. It'd be really fun. And then yeah, that's kind of what you're going for. I've got a bouquet happening here. I really love these pink ones. I even took a lunch bag, a paper bag, and kind of made this little bouquet holder. So you could always create something like that to deliver your flowers in, which is really fun. Kind of make your own little arrangement for your someone special or whoever you'd like to give these to. Just like that. Or you can put them in a vase. Put that pink one right on top. Ta-da! A little bouquet of flowers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please post pictures in the comments. We'd love to see the things that you create at home. And if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to leave a comment. Like I said, we love to see what you guys create at home, and let me know how I'm doing, if you like what you're seeing or not. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Everyone stay safe and have a great weekend. Bye guys.